All right.
Let's do this. I got to put my ears on. Is that one rolling?
That one's rolling too, yeah.
Sweet.
Welcome back to the No Mulligans podcast. Been a second. It's a cold winter's morning here in the LC. Scott had everything set up for me when I walked in today.
Man, I know Jack's not used to these crazy early mornings, so I thought I'd help you out a little bit. Plus, I know I've got a lesson starting at 8 o'clock with this guy over his right shoulder that's in here training, so...
Have to get it going early.
Yeah, man. So
well, what's been new? You were talking to me before we started the pod about how you guys did the PGA Business Summit.
Yeah. Here. So once a year, there's two major events in the Tennessee section of the PGA. You have your annual meeting, which is in February, typically right after the PGA show. So awards get given out, meet vendors, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's some education, and then the business summit was yesterday at Hillwood Country Club in town.
Nice.
And Brooks was presenting. Brooks is our owner. He presented on two different topics. And then Erica was presenting during one of the same breakout sessions on the teaching and coaching side and developing junior programs, which is, if you're around here, you know how big that thing's become.
It's so crazy how we as people who just golf at Franklin Bridge forget that golf is a business. It's not just a game. We just think of the game, right. But it's when you guys go do these things, it's like you're actually talking about the business of it.
Right. The game doesn't exist if the business doesn't exist. Right. You're not just building these in your backyard because you got
exactly.
You got a couple dozen $1 million laying around to do whatever you want.
Exactly.
So no, she absolutely killed it, and then really excited for her. She's 25, presenting at a business summit. She's won 3 awards this year already.
Yeah,
just
insane.
Absolutely killing it. So
you said she was making fun of you a little bit for not talking.
Yeah. So in the afternoon, Brooks on his second presentation, he was more the MC.
Yeah.
For a gentleman talking about AI.
Perfect role for him.
Oh yeah.
Just
I was talking about AI in the golf business, yeah. Right? And think about this. This is coming, y'all. It's already here. You will go into ChatGPT and different OpenAI forums and go, hey, book me a tee time between this time and this time at a golf course near Nashville, Tennessee on Saturday. And it will go in, and between these rates, and it will book it for you with your dollars and tell you where it is and book it. You
love that.
So that's it's not only coming, it's already here. You've got golf courses that have automated mowers now.
Dude, I saw that.
And
I saw a really cool thing on the automated mowers too, where the super was like, we're not using this as a way to cut back our employment. We're using this as a way to distribute that workload elsewhere.
Yeah, and there probably will be some delay to move into that because there's you write off on your taxes, amortization of all of your various equipment. So you can't just make a big jump, even if you want to, and they're expensive, right? Anything new like this is super expensive.
Yeah.
And there probably will be some minor labor cuts here and there. It's not going to be like a major overhaul, but we can put our people in spots that are more equipped to be more customer facing. And everybody freaks out, oh my gosh, technology. But the guy presented beautifully. If you look at technology over the history of the world and society, it's jobs just move to a different place.
Yeah.
So, and different resources, and AI is helping humans be humans more relationships, just how you use it, right? And so, anywho, they're presenting and how many to use, various AIs on the daily, weekly, whatever. And I was one of the ones with the daily, and he uses me as the example of hey, you could write an email to your owner, Brooks, sitting up front, and you type it up and have it send it out real nice. To Brooks, and it comes up this email, and Erica leans over to me and is she said, Brooks would know that's not you because it's not long enough. So I tend to be a little long-winded, as you can tell. So no, it's kind of a great start into the slow season.
Yeah.
Interesting thing, I was looking at, speaking of AI, was looking at some analytics on golf search terms, golf lessons and golf instruction. And if you look at it over the last 5 years, there's a major dip in November. Literally, basically nothing is searched for golf lessons between November and February.
None. Makes total sense.
But right now, for the first time in the last 5 years, there's actually an uptick
Across the board?
Across the board on golf lessons, golf instruction is getting searched for.
What do you attribute that to? Because when I think about Franklin Bridge, I'm like, well, we've got this awesome building with this awesome tech. Of course people would want to take lessons.
So it literally follows the tournament schedule of the PGA Tour.
Whoa.
So it's like the interest levels literally follow that.
I bet people just like watch Scotty hit an insane shot and it's like, I want to know how to do that. Yeah, exactly.
That's what we do, right?
Yeah,
it's like you watch a great basketball game. If it's a great finals, you're like, I'm gonna go shoot with my buddies, right?
Yeah.
Like there's just like, which I think is good for us, right? Just to get out and do those sorts of things. But
well,
we had the Internet Invitational.
I was about to say, we were joking about that the other day, but like golf is starting to be a year-round thing when it comes to just like content and people watching it.
There's another TGL coming up. So
true.
It's helping the golf business stay more constant. You're seeing lots of simulators like we have in here. We got 2 guys in here training at 7 a.m.
Yeah, you can see on this other angle too some of the tech that's running right now.
Yeah, so that's a thing. I think the market's becoming very quickly, I would say, oversaturated. The beauty of us is I'm at a golf course that has this.
Right.
I think you will see some places will die by the membership model, because the membership model is not a membership model that's like Planet Fitness for $25 or the Y for $100. Like it's $200, $250, $300, $350. Like some of the really premium ones, you're paying a pretty penny, and people, if I'm not going to use that, that's a lot of money.
What do you think it's going to go to then if it's going to fade away from membership?
I think you're going to see the prices come down. It's going to be about getting mass numbers of people to rent out the space. So the thing about the industry as a whole, when these learning centers first came out, people were like, hey, we're one of the first ones to have them. And so they like book everybody for memberships, and all of a sudden they don't have enough space and they make people mad and all that sort of stuff. Well, that's the initial, right? Supply's really low, demand's really high.
Right.
Well, now all of a sudden you have a massive supply to try to meet whatever demand's there. But as this goes with any business, right, the supply is going to get too large and the demand's going to be low.
And so you're saying these places like,
I think the price will come down.
These call them like virtual golf clubs, if you will, that are around town. Like obviously not ours, because ours you have to be a student to be able to use it. But yeah, you're right. I feel like I have seen over the course of the last year so many of these, virtual golf clubs pop up around town.
Well, and again, can you make it a like club? You're gonna have to.
Right.
You're gonna have to do that, and not everybody's good at doing that.
Totally.
Right, and it's not like a golf course that is that has a thing that can take hours to do and can have. So you have bars and
or
drinks.
multiple facilities like a putting green and a driving range.
And so like, well, one of the magic of some of these places is like they don't have people manning the spaces. You got nicer places like the Sanctuary in town, which is great, but they've got a higher entry fee membership. They've got a higher monthly, and it's a whole bar and there's a whole like community built around it. But some of these other ones, it's like, well, what are you going to be? What are you going to become? And they'll do well probably initially, and they're going to do well through this first winter.
Those are like the 24-hour fitness centers.
Yeah. But the goal is like, well, we basically don't have to staff it. You scan in with a card and you walk in and you can go whenever you want. We don't do that because we've got houses behind us, and I don't want to disrupt neighbors. And, you attract a certain clientele that we're not trying to pull.
Yeah.
We're actually going to come down on the prices of our rental memberships, which these 2 guys behind me are like, yes, let's go.
That's what I love about the LC, though, is that because you have to be a student, everybody who comes in here is working on something that they have been taught. Right. And I feel like that's obviously the origin of the model, but I just think that's unique to us, and that's really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's what separates our learning center. And it's optimized for learning. We can open the doors to and hit out. It's 32 degrees right now. And
Sim golf is here, baby.
Chill in normal golf attire in the summer. So yeah, that's kind of the big stuff.
That's cool when you think about, like I said earlier in the pod, it's cool to see the business side, and I've been lucky enough to be around it for some years now with you. But for everybody else, this is just a game. You just go to a facility and you go play it, and then you leave, and then you go do something else.
Right. Yeah. No. I agree, and I love telling people like we're bringing the prices down. Why? Because I can. Right. Like Amazon can drop their prices, right, and they beat the market. So I can drop the prices. I can undercut everybody else. I don't have to add that as a line item for me. And so we'll undercut prices, not because we're less valuable, but because we can.
Yeah.
And because I want our students using it more to optimize their learning. Like, that's just a little high for me to rent it out that much, plus take lessons. I was like, all right, we'll bring the price down.
Yeah,
because I want you in here learning, and
Correct.
if you get better, then we're going to drive more business this way.
Not only that, but for people who are growing their game, or maybe who come as a super amateur and then play the game and realize they want to invest more, you see behind us like all of this fitting equipment as well as and some stuff that you can just buy off the rack over here.
We won't have next year. We're going to complete custom fitting.
That's awesome. I think that's the way to go. But like, if you want new clubs too, you got the facility to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And some of the best fitters here.
Yeah. So it's pretty incredible where we're at, man.
Dude, we're
to really think about it, 5 years ago, we're shooting a pod on the back patio of the bridge, and
we wouldn't have done this early morning pod. We wouldn't have anywhere to do it.
No, we wouldn't have. So this is pretty cool. So what are we talking about?
We're talking about scoring, right?
Yeah. So we've done part of kind of what's been happening, right, is we do a lot of free education nights. We've done, now that we have this learning center, so they're typically 6:30 to 8 p.m.
I'll pop a photo on the screen right here if you're watching on YouTube. I took a photo when I came to one.
Oh, nice.
And it was cool to see this whole entire space that we're sitting in right now just filled up with people.
Yeah, we can put 30 to 50 people in here, no problem, and present in this one bay. And a lot of Q&A stuff. This is, hey, come and ask your questions. Like, sure, we'll pop some of these bits online, but I don't think everything in golf instruction has to be paid for. And what I'm talking about, not obviously there's golf content out there that you don't pay for, but is the actual in-person experience, I don't think has to be charged for all the time. Like, that's like, hey, I'm an instructor. I have this value. I'm just going to hold it all for myself.
It's the Gary Vee model.
I've worked so hard my whole life, and all the things that I have are valuable.
Proprietary
and you have
to me.
I'm like, no, they're not. You learn it from a whole bunch of other people, and you're stealing and sharing. So, like, I have to make a living on what we do, but having these group settings and such is incredibly valuable. Plus, there are things,
it creates that culture that we were talking about earlier, too. So
right. Well, and plus, there's so many things in a 1 hour lesson or even a 2 hour lesson you just can't get to. And so it gives the student a chance to kind of get to see where we're coming from, lets them be in a relaxed environment where they can ask some of the hard questions that typically will bog down a lesson that maybe actually need to be addressed. So we've done, how many of those have been? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 7, 8.
What would you say, like, to continue on this topic? We'll just start one at a time here. Like, what are 5 things, like the top 5 most important things that like you thought were topics of conversation at these free?
So for the parents, one is giving them a holistic view of what it takes to build an athlete.
Oh yeah, you're talking about like development windows and everything like that. Yeah.
So that's a big one. Trying to get parents how best to equip their kids, some of the pitfalls, some of the mistakes that I've made, I've seen other parents make, I've seen other teachers make, some of the successes that certain parents have had with their kids, we've had others. So, we're flawed too. We're doing the best we can. But that's one, that's a big one. That's actually a 4-month series for parents. And then the other, like the overarching theme of the like just more golf instruction ones, we've done a little bit on the mind, Sean Humphrey's system and style. We'll probably revisit Sean Humphrey's in a later podcast and actually try to do it in practice and show it to you all, how that system of elite performance systems mental training is, I think, the kingpin. So we spent a lot of time on that. But the one to me that like this little thread that kind of sits underneath every single one of them is like, are you working on the right thing, or are you just working on a thing? Right? And that's a hard question to answer.
It takes a lot of self-awareness of your game too.
Right. And an instructor has to be able to navigate that of not everybody's in a place where they can actually accept that information. And that's, that's why I like doing the education things. Like, you can come in and sit in here and I can give you the facts to the degree that I'm aware of them at this point in my career, and hopefully add value to you. Like, if
it's hilarious. You're talking about like or we had the video that kind of went semi-viral of you with your long irons.
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
just thinking about like working on the right thing, and I
Right.
feel like some people will be like, "Well, I got to hit my 4-iron well." It's like, well, how many times do you pull it in a round?
Right.
It's like
right.
twice, maybe
Oh, so,
once.
Oh, so and so. This is terrible about. I don't like this about my golf swing. Well, like, but is it actually going to make the ball do anything different?
Correct. Yeah.
Or if it doesn't make it do something different, is it going to make it better?
Exactly.
And just because it worked one time doesn't mean it's going to work every time.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
just because you think it worked one time doesn't mean you actually did it.
And what do
Maybe
you
you did something else.
What is it that you always say too? You're like, if it doesn't change the ball flight, then why are you working on it? Essentially?
Yeah, if the ball flight doesn't improve or change, then you're probably not on it, or you haven't actually changed the thing that you intended to change.
But it's like acquiring these little tidbits of information that actually help you work on the right things when you need to work on them.
Right. So, give you an example. We're in our winter program with adults, which is, think of it as like a Mr. Miyagi's golf school, which is total breaking down into component parts. So, it's actually another topic, is I don't think golfers do a good job. Actually, I think we do a terrible job, including in instruction, of training component parts. We train the whole. Like, all right, hey, you're going to do this golf swing with this drill, but you're going to make the whole swing. It's like, well, how do we work on just a component piece? Well, what about this? Well, what about that? And so you'll fix something in their golf swing and they'll see 7 other things on there that they'll want to change, or just 1 or 2. Like, well, what about that? That's probably the most common thing. Well, what about this? Well, that looks funny to me. I was like, you're a 12 handicap or 15 handicap. You actually don't know what good is. You have a perception in your head that you've created for whatever reason that may or may not be true of what is good and correct. And so this is where we start to run down these holes of, am I working on a thing or am I working on the right thing for me in that moment? And it has to change the ball flight, and it has to be repeatable. And so if you're just, well, what were you like, I asked a guy the other day, I was like, what'd you feel on that one? Well, what I was thinking about was that I didn't ask a thinking question. I said, did that one feel different? Yeah, what felt different? And that's a hard question for people.
It can be, yeah,
is like,
for sure.
Well, what am I supposed to feel? I don't know.
I'm not you.
I'm not you.
Yeah.
I can't do that. This is why instructors will put players there. They'll use training aids, all of those things to benefit players. If you know me, I don't like a lot of training aids. I like a very minimal usage of training aids because, it's harder for an instructor to teach without the ability to use all these aids. But when they're standing on, the 18th hole here at Franklin Bridge, and off the tee there's out of bounds left and water right, it doesn't matter about the beach ball between your knees or the ball between your arms or the wrist thing with the ball that Rory was using for a while. Like, none of that matters in that moment. Not to say that you should never use them, but if you don't take that, internalize that feel, re-execute that feel at the fullest possible level, then it is worthless.
Well, and I think what you're trying to say as well, first of all, I think what you said makes complete sense, so I'm not trying to change what you say.
Yeah.
But what I'm hearing you say is that when you are under pressure, what's one thing you can lean on to ensure that you're going to make the right motion to get it down the, and I'm thinking about 18 at Franklin Bridge. I'm just like, okay, it doesn't matter what really the ball does as long as it just the starting line is correct.
Yeah, and if you're since we're in the Christmas season here, if you're thinking about gifts for people, think about the golfer in your life. Get them the book "The Pro" by Butch Harmon.
Oh yeah, what a book, dude! You gave me that book, and that was such a good book, man.
And in there is a story where Butch is asking his dad. So Butch Harmon, for those that don't know, is arguably the best golf instructor in the last 40 years. 50 years.
And I would argue that his dad
was likely better.
Was likely better.
Yeah, and there's in a moment, that's why I mentioned the beach ball thing, where there's a period of time where golf instruction all of a sudden started having all these training aids. Mm-hmm. And they were putting beach balls between the knees to stabilize the lower body, because this is a period of time after, remember the big knee movements of like the black and white golf swings? Like
Whippy.
Lots of knee movement. So it's like, beach ball between your knees. And he said, Dad, why don't we do any of that? He said, son, because when you're at Pebble Beach on the 18th hole and there's water left, he said the only thing that matters is that toe gets there after the heel. If the toe gets there before the heel, you're in the lake. If it gets there after the heel, it ain't in the lake. Like that. And it's literally that concrete. At the end of the day,
we're losing that level of bluntness too in today's society, like all across the board, but especially in golf, we're definitely losing that bluntness.
Well, and some of that I think comes from a figure out how I want to say this. I think some of that's coming from a lack of like relational, what we typically call soft skills, of like being able to like relate to other people. And so having these like classroom sessions that we have with people, because it's relaxed, it's not like, hey, I've paid 150, 175, 200, whatever your rate is, like to take a golf lesson. Like there's no pressure in the room in that moment, both on the instructor and on the person. You're not paying for anything. I'm just here to add value to you. You're here. You can ask those questions freely. And so all of a sudden that like you build some relational equity and trust that is really hard to do in a 1 hour session. And so now when push comes to shove, now we're talking from the same base. Like, here's what we believe to be true about the golf swing and how you learn. But you don't know that information when you come in and take a lesson. You may have heard from people. You may have watched our videos, whatever. You may have listened to the podcast. But until you're actually here and you actually have a deeper understanding of how we teach and why we teach the way we do, then it's harder to be more direct.
Why do you think that and we're not trying to throw shade on anybody else, but like, why do you think that other teaching philosophies coddle that student a little more instead of being like, hey, this is just what you need to do at the end of the day?
I think some of it's personality based. I think we've softened generally, to your point, as a culture of, okay, we swing in various directions, right? So you go back 100 years ago, it's like emotions don't matter at all.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're way over here. Emotions are everything.
Right, yeah.
It's no. Emotions are there to both protect you, to help you survive, but used appropriately, they can help you thrive. But used destructively, they can help you. So it's like, do we need to acknowledge when you're struggling? Yes, but like when you're in the middle of competition on the sixth hole, you gotta close those floodgates. You gotta close those hot-headed anger. You gotta shut that thing down, re-engage and refocus and go forward, because you got 12 more holes to play. And if it's a 2-day or 3-day event, you got to get that puppy shut off now. We can deal with the emotion later. And why are you being that way, so we can kind of work through it. But you cannot let it run the show. If it runs the show, you're in trouble. And we've allowed it to run the show, including, and you're starting to see tournaments not allow parents to go out at junior tournaments. Like, you're not actually allowed to even go watch your kid in certain groups. Why? Because the parents are being emotional. And they're disrupting and interacting with the kids, and they're creating this, like, what is this? Like, let the kid play.
That's like the anti-Earl Woods too,
And so you're seeing kind of these pushes and pulls, and there's speaking the truth in love, I think, is an important quality, and that's wisdom, and that takes years to develop. And I've gotten better at it in 15 years of doing this, and I will hopefully be better at it 15 years from now. But is to be honest, I said this, to be truthful is to be kind. My staff, this is where we need to be. Elijah and I have been doing some free classes for various middle and high schools around the area, and we've taken the approach, especially for the middle and high school players that are already playing, not the like brand new beginners, but we've taken this approach of like, hey, here's positions of PGA Tour players and LPGA Tour players. This is a random grab bag of 20 of them, 10 from each. They are all in the same takeaway position. There's subtle variances, but there's one common piece that's the same. If you're not here, are you trying to get better? And they're all the same at the finish on one element. All their finishes look different, but they're all the same in one element. So it's like, if you can do that and you can do this, you got a chance to be really good. But if you're not there, like, hey man, well, how come I'm not consistent? It's like, because you're not there. Elijah said something to him last night, which I thought was awesome. We're probably going to share it. I'm glad I filmed it. But if you can't put it in here in a relaxed environment with a slow swing at slow speed, if you can't put it in this spot in the takeaway, and you haven't put the reps in to do it in the takeaway on every time that you're in here, and you're not using your phone to check if you're actually putting it in that spot, if you're not using your cameras when you're practicing and playing, you're crazy. You're delusional. You will not get better if you're not using cameras. I mean, both these guys right now are both staring at these screens, looking at numbers and looking at their motion. And like, is it there? They've got lines on the screen. Like, those are the people that are getting better.
But again, you can't just look and be like, oh, that looks good. Like, you have to know what you need to do, which goes back to our original point where you have to practice well and know what you're practicing.
Right. And you've got to go to people who know what they're doing, right? Like, or to whatever your budget will allow, right? Rebecca and I recently, over the last couple of months, had a financial coach, and we went back in Birmingham a little bit. But as we walked away from one of our meetings, she said, like, it's a little bit pricey, but like, you almost can't afford not to have one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're delusional to think that you are the only one who can be right about this, and that you can do it exclusively on your own.
Yeah, it's almost a sense of humility in a way.
The longer I teach, the more I realize, I'm not just talking about golf, like, you have to have other people pushing you and advising you. If you're not, you can get better, but you can't reach your best. It's just not possible, and you can't sustain it. And so that's why we're in here. It's why I do what I do. It's why we built the Learning Center the way we did. There's 4 TVs up there plus another screen, like,
for one bay. There's another 4 on the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and that data and information is valuable.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it all comes back to this, like, do you want to get better or not? Here's what's true. I felt like, really, my path is that far to the left? I felt like I did it right the time. Again, your feelings don't matter. The golf ball doesn't care what you feel.
Facts don't care about your feelings, kind of thing.
They don't.
Yeah.
Like, the golf ball just doesn't. Now, if we want to talk about that part of you, we can, but like, it doesn't care what it felt like. And it cares, what did I do? Did I actually get my club path where it needs to be or not? Like, what's up, Cannon?
Oh, what's up?
Got another one coming in here. But it really doesn't care. Like, was the face there or not? Was the path there or not? Was my low point far enough forward or not? Like, was it there? I felt like it was. Did the ball think so? No? Okay, then you weren't. Period. Well, I put it in that spot, and I'm putting it there every time. How come the ball's not doing something different? Probably because you're not on the right thing. Like, it's that concrete. And so, it's the same question I ask my staff. And the way, you'll see some pictures over the coming weeks and months, or just come and see us. But you've got, the way the Learning Center is built is not isolated bays. It's open concept so that my staff can come in and ask questions when they have them. Or I even call in my staff who haven't taught as long as I have. I call them in sometimes like, hey, this looks weird to me. Like, what's your take? Unfiltered. And so we're constantly learning and constantly training, and I think that's how do we do that? Am I working on a thing? Am I working on the right thing? So I think teaching that to people is really hard. And you've got lots of different opinions, which I think really muddies the waters. Well, Scott, you said this and he said that. It's like, okay, who's right? Hit the ball. Let's see. Both could be right. There's multiple ways to hit the ball the same way. Tailor-made videos, we've talked about those a bunch. Like, those are my favorites.
It's fun watching Tiger talk about different concepts too, because he just speaks in a different language compared to everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I saw this post earlier, and he's like talking about putting. It's like a punching putt and a kissing putt, and like all these different ways to describe how you're going to hit certain shots, and it's just out of this world, man. Even some of the pros just look at him and they're like, what are we talking about?
Right. Well, and they all feel things differently. And so, especially when you get all those guys hanging out together, a lot of them are talking in feels. And feels are like really just don't translate. It's not like, if we have the same sad thing happen in our life or something very similar, like, okay, we can kind of both feel that, but feeling a certain movement and trying to describe that movement feel to somebody else,
it's literally like a foreign language to try to figure that out. Like it is wild. What am I supposed to feel? You won't feel these things, but you could feel. I don't know. That's the fun part of my job. And there you go. Cannon's got a training aid out. Famous box. I love the box.
Well, dude, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Glad we're back.
This is good.
It's been real good.
What else are we gonna do? What else do we want to do?
Well,
Let's dream a bit. Let's dream for a few minutes. We got a few minutes left.
Well, I'm switching the audio over to our Hollyland mics because our SD card just filled up.
Oh no!
But it's good. It's good because
Well,
we got the backups.
Let's go.
So
Go
it might be a little different quality, but it's still the same us. Yeah. I mean, to wrap this up, what are we gonna do? You ran out of time when we were doing it, but you posted that video of the two of us hitting on the simulator.
Yep.
We're gonna have to do like a par 3.
Yep.
Competition here. We'll post that on YouTube.
We could do a play against the pod.
Ooh.
In here in this winter.
Oh, that'd be great, dude. Little like a 2v2. What could we do on the sim? Could you? I mean,
we could do a 2v2 and we could handicap it.
And just do best ball essentially.
Yeah. Do a best ball. You play your own ball all the way out.
With
do like par 3 contests.
Yeah.
That way we can play faster and get through more people. I think that could be fun. Play
9-hole matches or something like that. Yeah.
And be like pod this, the rest of the world this.
Oh, pod versus series.
Yeah.
Oh, they're definitely doing that.
Dude, we should definitely do that. I had somebody tell me I should take a video on hole 1, hit a drive every day on hole number 1, put the cameras in the exact same place, at the exact same height, and just take one every single day, and you get to watch the golf course change from now until like it starts to green up in the spring.
You just do like
cool.
and you can post you could even get the quad out and you can post the data while also posting like the temperature and stuff like that, and you'd be able to tell how your swing and the ball flight fluctuates.
That's cool. Yeah, we can look at what's club head speed, like how many layers do I have on today?
Exactly.
Put the shot tracer on there.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think what else I want to do. I want us to get to a place where we do some like evening Q&As where people ask us questions like we used to do. We have to call it something different. I definitely want to do some travel. I think that could be fun.
We got to do a whole pod on our trip to Helfrich too. I really enjoyed that.
That was a lot of fun. And I played a golf course the other day that is no joke, probably my favorite layout I've ever played. And I've played some really nice golf courses.
In town?
No. It's not even on a map. I'm not kidding. You can go look it up on
where
Google.
is it?
It's called Mulligans Golf Course.
Yeah, dude. Mulligans.
In Perry County, Alabama. Like,
oh my goodness.
Like, it's probably 30 minutes from Selma, like northwest of Selma. There's nothing there. So you've got like Montgomery. So if everybody's looking at it on TV, you've got like Montgomery, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, and then it's like over here.
Like so awesome, over there. Dude.
It is in the middle of nowhere.
Was it well maintained, or is it kind of just like a muni style?
It's a municipal golf course. We played it in dormant grass.
Yeah.
But the movement of the holes, like you had different looks everywhere. Like first hole's a little dogleg right. Second hole is actually a little bit of a snake, but it's a par 4. And so like you could hit driver, but you got to turn it left to hit driver. You can't just pump it up over the trees. You can't hit it high enough to get it up over the trees.
Yeah.
So you could hit like a 250-yard shot off the tee, but then you're 150. But if you started a little too far right, then you don't have a shot at the green. So like,
that's tough,
how far back do you have to play in order to give yourself a shot on the second one? Or you've got to turn it left, and especially playing it blind, you don't know what's around the corner. And so like, even if you see it overhead, like you don't know. And so you're forced with, at best, you're going to have a 120-yard shot in if you're playing good, smart golf and you haven't played there a lot. And then the third hole's dead straight, and then the fourth hole's a dogleg left. And then you got back-to-back par 3s, which is rare. So it was like a fun, like it had a long par 3 and then a short par 3. They're 50 yards different. And you're like, ooh, whoa. Like I just went 2 iron shots in a row. Like how often do you go 2 iron shots in a row?
Yeah.
Like maybe like a par 4, then a par, like if you do a par 5, it might be driver, fairway wood, or long iron.
I do it on 10 out here at Franklin Bridge. 2 iron.
Yeah, you could do that. So it's just like a odd, some fun layouts there, and then you've got a little bend to the right to short par 5 down. Like there's just so much movement in so many places.
Yeah.
It's $40 to play. Like it's not expensive.
That's so fun, dude.
The greens were smooth, but they're slow. Just they don't have the irrigation. They don't have the money. There's it's a fairly poor area.
That's still really cool.
But one of my favorite layouts I've ever played.
Yeah.
Which is fun to think about. Like, what makes a golf course fun?
Yeah.
And so if you can remove the nostalgia or going to play Pinehurst in the super nice places with all the money built into them, it's like, yeah, but it's pretty and it's beautiful, but it's not like, it doesn't necessarily make it fun. Like,
well, sometimes here's what I would say. Sometimes those places don't have any soul to them.
Some of the nicer places.
Yeah. Like compared to like when we went to Helfrich, I feel like that place had a story to tell.
Yeah.
But like,
same with this golf course because it was bought out and renamed.
Oh, well,
so that's part of the reason why you can't find it.
Totally. But like, you go to some of these like resort properties and you're like, this is just here.
Right. Well, and that's my feel about. Should I talk bad about another golf course? Not talking bad. It's just like I don't like everybody loves Troubadour. To me, it's like
I do want to go play it.
It's fun to go play. Like it is beautiful. It is gorgeous. They have done everything at an incredibly high level, but it's not my favorite place to play. It's not a layout that I'm like, oh, this is super fun and super interesting. It's like fairly open. You hit it here, and you got some neat little holes, but like there's not a movement and a soul and a pattern, and that doesn't exist there. And for me, anyway.
How'd you feel about? I don't know if I can talk about this. When you went down to Florida.
And played. When Mike and I played with Dunlap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Panther.
Like,
how was that? Because I know that's a Thomas and Nicholas, right?
It's
or Palmer.
Justin Thomas and Nicholas.
It was Nicholas, yeah.
Like, it has a lot of Nicholas personality to it. It's got some really neat layouts and some movement to it, but I don't buy into the like because it's expensive, like and because so and so built it, it's therefore great.
Fair play.
I don't evaluate golf courses like that. Maybe we should do a pod on like what.
Yeah, maybe we should.
What makes a golf course really great? I need to go back and do some reading and maybe give you a golf course architecture book.
I love golf course architecture too, just everything.
And so, it's part of the reason why we're taking some of our better juniors who've been with us longer on trips to see other places,
right?
Than what they're used to seeing. And it's a little bit like the test that they've done on wine, right? Is like just because a bottle of wine says it's $150 doesn't mean it's the best bottle of wine on a blind test.
Correct.
Right. And so you got all these connoisseurs, and you will fool the best people, the best connoisseurs in the world, because you can't really do that with a golf course. You can't neutralize it like that. It's like if you could make the place you just played just as nice, and maybe make it 200 or 300 yards longer to make it fit a golf course has to be 7,000 yards kind of minimum. That's like popular, and it could look just as nice as Troubadour, or Troubadour look just as poor as that one. Then you could evaluate the golf course.
That's what you're saying, yeah.
Right? So, like, all the bunkers that make things beautiful, like, bunkering is really popular because it looks really pretty, but, like, there are grass bunkers at the place we played.
Yeah.
And grass bunkers sometimes are harder than actual bunkers.
We've talked about that, yeah, definitely.
So, there's, and everybody likes different things about different golf courses. Like, you put Palmer and Nicholas together, like, why do their golf courses look different from each other? Because they have different things that they think make a golf course beautiful. I challenge people especially if you're really getting into the game of golf, like I challenge you to not look at a golf course because it's iconic or it's expensive. And there are some expensive golf courses.
Doesn't mean it's not like it shouldn't be on your bucket list to go play.
Right.
But like, just you got to know what you're getting.
Yeah.
At that point, you can't just say that, this is a peak top tier golf course because it's pricey.
Yeah, like Augusta, it would just be so awesome to play Augusta. Playing Augusta would be awesome because very few people get to play Augusta.
Right.
But like would you play Augusta and go like, this was the best golf course I've ever played? I don't know. You might not. It might be in the middle. It might be at the top. It might be at the bottom.
Or like you were saying with a blindfold on, which is obviously impossible to do. It's
Right.
like, how do you evaluate it?
Right. And so there's a really old school golf course architecture book that would be a really fast read that I have in my house that I'd have you read. Like it's like 90 pages, written by Alistair McKenzie, who designed the original Augusta National. So like that would be a good place to start. But I think that would be fun to let people see, like, and it helps you. The other thing is when you start thinking in that view, you start seeing the game different.
Oh, totally, because you understand what the defense is at the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think there's some wonderful golf courses out there that are beautiful. If you invite me to go play, I'm going to play. But they're going to finish like people go, oh my gosh, this golf course was so amazing. I'm just not going to have the same. I'm not going to have the same view. It's beautiful. I love playing there. Like I've gone and played Troubadour once. It is beautiful. I love playing. If you invite me to go, I'm going. Right. In part just because it's not easy to get on.
Right.
But I love Country Club of Birmingham for a different reason. I love Firestone. There's things about the bridge that I think are so much fun.
I was about to say the bridge has a pretty unique layout. I feel like you get like a shot maker's 9 on the front, and then you have a little more link style on the back 9, but it still makes you hit a certain shots. Like there's just,
and it's not long, so it's friendly. Like I don't play a whole lot. I'm trying to play a little more, if you've noticed, but is trying to play a little more. And it's nice to, if you don't play a lot, to go to a place where you can score. Like I can make a couple birdies and not really make anything major. One of my favorite features about the bridge is the golf course, if you look at it overhead, is an S shape. And so you have two holes that seem to face the same direction. And on windy days, this golf course can be really challenging because what feels like, well, I was downwind on the last hole. How come it's across? It's like because the hole's just slowly bending and moving. And it's really easy to get disoriented as to where the like dominant wind pattern is.
And the trees that we have too kind of hide some of the wind when you get up into the tree, or get up above the tree line a little bit.
And then like hole 2, you drop down below. You can't even feel the wind down there.
And then you go back up on 8 and you're right in the wind.
You tee up on 3 and then you're up on 8. Yeah, like it just feels totally different.
Totally.
So,
We'll definitely do a podcast on that. Want to.
And then some travel and some other stuff. And we want to hear your questions. What do you guys want us to talk about?
Bingo.
So,
all right, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. This one is going to be posted on YouTube with some of the pictures from our free sessions that Scott did over here. You'll also be able to see where we're doing the pod, all of our fitting equipment behind, and maybe some behind the scenes stuff. So for all of you that are listening, thank you so much. We hope to bring you more and more content as the days go by, especially during winter golf, because there's nothing else to do.
and play against the pod.
Exactly. And come in here, get a lesson, and do play against the pod, too. So if you're interested in that, hit us up on the DMs at No Mulligans Pod. And, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Now you get to go deal with tenants today.
Say that again.
You get to go deal with tenants.
You do?
No, you get to.
Oh, yeah.
Man, there's gum on the bottom of my shoe.